All right, so let's get this a little bit bigger so we don't have my crazy screen that's sending Lauren into absolute
I
fits.
need folders.
I know. Actually, so background story, I finally started my media sciences master.
Oh, great.
And
Congratulations.
yes, and so it's kind of like that's what I do on the weekends, right? The weekend doing my job, the weekends I do that. And so last week was a lot of articles. That's all those articles that you see. And I need to just delete them. So because I'm old and I can't just read them on the computer, I want to print them out. Anyway, anywho.
No, I'm the
So
same way. I like to like print them out and highlight them and write in the
yeah,
margins.
right. Like yeah, and I know I can annotate on the compuper. Yeah, irony. We're talking about
Right.
digital
How
collaboration.
ironic.
So, thank you, first of all, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And I do know that people do listen to this recording. So, although I think it's just going to be fun just chatting with you anyway, I always get to learn a lot when I hear you. So, and we'll have you introduce us and yourself and tell you about the podcast because that is key. First of all, those people who don't know me, I'm Bridget. I guess I'm the host with the most. I don't know. Volunteered to try and get these webinars going for GLMA, but for everyone really who wants to listen. And that's kind of how I've been feeling the last week or so. Just seems to have been a never ending pile. Maybe that's why I haven't cleaned up the icons on my computer. That could be it. So we all make excuses, right? But anyway, so I get to be the lucky one who gets to chat with Miss Lauren. So Lauren, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, and I'm in the guest seat today, so this is different for
Ah,
me. Kind
role
of.
reversal.
Yeah, we'll both be in it. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Mobley, and I am a middle school media specialist at North Clayton Middle School in Atlanta, College Park, Georgia. My school is actually about 5 minutes from the airport, so pretty close to the city. This is my third year. Of course, I'm a member of GLMA, the best state organization there is, as well as ASL and ALA. I'm really happy to be here. I mentioned that I'm excited to be a guest because usually I host on my podcast. So if you're into school library and listening, then definitely check out Library Unlocked. You can tune in wherever you listen to podcasts.
And you know what? There's a need for it too. I mean, I know we have a couple of good ones, but that's what we've got is a couple of good ones. So, I think you like me. Yes, you like me came from the teaching world. Not that we don't still teach, but that world. And it seemed like there were so many resources when I switched over to media specialist. All of a sudden, I couldn't find my podcasts, I couldn't find my edu chats, and I felt a little bit on my own. And that was kind of why I said, sure, I'll help with doing webinars because I feel like it's teaching me stuff as I get to speak to all these people. So when I reached out to Lauren, who I need to remember, it's Mobley. I keep saying Mobley, and I can't blame my accent
Yeah,
for
I
that.
think like the mob, like
Yeah,
mob
the
wise.
mob, the
Yeah.
mob of books. Yeah, I love that. She suggested talking about digital collaboration, which of course is a key thing. And it's fact, it's funny because I got to cheat a little bit and look at her slides first and add a little bit of input in things. And I kept thinking I did so much that was so great during COVID and online teaching. Why am I not still doing it? Right. Just so much. And I learned a lot, and I'm sure a lot of us did, and you get away from it really easily. But I think it just saves time. And it just helps us to be the support to our teachers we can. It also helps us to achieve our goals better when we do it right. I think you'd agree there, Lauren. Like it just
Absolutely.
makes a difference. Yeah.
Even this, I mean, like this webinar, something that probably wouldn't have done. I feel like they've just kind of blown up since, not blown up, but exploded. That's another, it's the same word, blown up, exploded. They've, they keep getting more and more used, webinars and digital type of collaboration. So the COVID taught us some things about how to navigate and adapt. So, because we're on totally different sides of the state, but we're able to come together right now and provide this information. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And I love the way you start right at the beginning with the emails.
Oh my
All
gosh. Oh my God, I hate that. There's some in-person collaborations that I feel like could be digital collaborations. And that's the worst, right? When you're in a meeting and it's like, this is the meeting. But then you've got to ask yourself, were were you gonna read the email?
Right.
if if they did send a super long email, were you gonna read it? So I try my best to really make my emails worth reading. So we'll talk a little bit at the beginning of this presentation about one, how to make your emails pop so that, oh, this is kind of, intriguing so that people do want to read them, how to
Absolutely.
plan lessons and events asynchronously, and then some of my fave digital collab tools. So we'll start with the emails first because that is,
That.
ugh, look at this. Look at
And I
this
think I have
boring
to drive
inbox.
for you, so you just keep me going. All right, boring.
All right. I'm looking at the inbox here and it's just like, oh gosh, I probably should have hit everybody's name.
Oh, okay. We'll just like maybe move along.
It's fine. They don't have their email addresses. They just have their names.
That's
Don't
right.
email them, guys.
Right.
But if you look at the inbox now, which one stands out? You see that little emoji? Don't get left out. Like these titles are all pretty blase. But mine, don't get left out, and then the shocked face. Somebody's gonna click that because they're like, wait, what is she talking about? um,
You just like add that in right on the subject line. Like, no
yeah,
big
and
deal. Just put it in there.
I do it for like all my, not all of them. I mean, if it's a reply or something, but if I'm trying to get my faculty's attention, I'm trying to get the students' attention. If I'm trying to get somebody in GLMA's attention, I'll put an emoji in that subject line. So they're like, wait, first of all, you can put emojis in the subject line?
Right.
Yes, you can. And they're super cute. And they pop. They just add like a little color on the screen so that whoever's reading the email, I feel like it stands out and gets their attention. And I wish more people would use them and send them to me. I'm always the one sending the emojis. I never get the emojis.
Well, and I'm thinking about it too, like a little later on, I'm going to talk about the staff contest I do and think, I mean, it could have like a little congratulations thing, right? Like the little party hat or something, this month's winner. I mean, it really, yeah, it makes it pop.
Right. And some good news is always awesome.
Mm,
So we all love emojis. And I also feel like it's great to hyperlink stuff. Oh my gosh. I hate seeing the links, which we'll talk about in a second. So this email that you see right here, I've got hyperlink. Which activity will you be hosting on Wednesday for Literacy Night? And that's a hyperlink. They're gonna click it and answer it. Um, of course, you can change the colors of your text within there. You can change the sizes, and you can put GIFs and memes in emails, which are hilarious and get people's attention. And I also use my signature as a way to just be cute, show that I'm good at technology, and also advocate for reading. So on one of the slides, I've hyperlinked where you can get a template of the I'm currently reading, and whenever I change my book, or maybe a month, or maybe 2 months, whenever I remember, I'll change the book and I will put that in my signature line. So
love
continuously
that.
advocating for reading
I
that everybody
literally
listens.
just wrote on my sticky note, I'm currently reading Bitmoji. Like I literally just wrote that down. I think that's brilliant. I
And
think
yeah,
that's
the template will be in there so you can change it. Don't use my emoji, change it to somebody your own. Oh, funny story about that. So I gave someone my a file that I had and my Bitmoji was on it, and then they kept my Bitmoji. I'm like, we look nothing alike.
I
Your
think
shit.
I think that's like I don't know, that's kind of modern day bad practice, right? Like it's like, that no, don't take someone's Bitmoji. I mean, hello, hello,
I don't think
hello.
she noticed, but I didn't want to say anything because she published it. It's just like,
That's
that's
funny.
me.
That's funny. So subject line. All right. So, oh, what's all this? Tell me more.
Oh yeah, so little work, big impact. So the emojis. We got the Bitmojis, which is like your character, right? And then
Right.
we got the emojis, which are just kind of standard. So it should make sense. And don't run out with the emojis. I'm getting them confused. Do like 30 emojis. Like that's just, excessive. You want it to be like just so sometimes I will say to the faculty staff, all the Chromebooks are gone. It makes sense to put a Chromebook and an X on. Like it's almost
Right.
that visual literacy that you kind of support too, whether it be for faculty or kids. They have the visual picture and the words to make that connection, and I feel like it makes a stronger impact.
Well, and I'm thinking about it too, like not so necessarily digital collaboration, but let's say you've got like the warm-up slide and the kids are walking into class. If it's got written down, don't open your Chromebooks, like that takes them too long to read. They've already opened their Chromebooks, right? But if they see a Chromebook and no, then I think that actually has more chance of working.
Right. This is
Love
the
that.
visual cues.
Yeah.
Um, And if you don't know how to access emojis on your computer, you can. If you have a Mac, Control, Command, Space, hit those all at the same time, and your emoji keyboard will pop up. And if you have Windows, press the Windows logo in the period at the same time, and it'll pop up. So in the subject line, in the message, anywhere that you want to add text, you hit those keys, and then you'll get the emoji keyboard.
I'm so glad you said that. I was having visions of starting every email on my phone and then like saving it as a draft. And
Oh
okay,
no,
all right, I like
you
that.
have to
I
do
like that.
that.
I literally I thought I was pretty good on the hotkeys. I literally did not know that one. So, see, thank you, thank
You don't
you.
have to
Yeah. So you mentioned the link, and that was the thing that I said I have to say something because oh my gosh, it is it's just a nightmare, right? Like when you have to copy and paste a link. First of all, I hate just the visual of a link, right? Like one of the things that I really dislike in we use Canvas as a school, and there are certain apps, certain parts of it, like in the announcements and messages and things that you can't like put a link. And I feel like I'm teaching the kids a bad lesson because I'm sending them this long blah 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 HTTP, like no, don't make me do that. So that's number one. And number two, just when you can't click on it, like it's hard enough to get people to read emails nowadays, I find, never mind respond to emails, never mind respond to a survey or something within an email. So we have to make it as easy as possible. And copying and pasting would not be it. And so, you know what it looks like, right? So you've got this sort of big old ugly thing, and then, big old ugly thing that's underlined, and then you got view presentation here. Like
Right.
it's
It's
just
like worst, better, best.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And it is just so frustrating. We've all been there. And I think sometimes we forget it's such a simple little thing, but we forget how much it annoys us. And I know, I say to people all the time that I'm really grateful I was a very busy teacher before I came a very busy media specialist, because I think I have more understanding of why those emails aren't getting read. So everything Lauren's already said up to now just makes sense, right? Make it easier, make it stand out. And this is just a very basic, but make it a link, make it clickable, and make it have the title instead of all the gobbledygook.
They're already annoyed and tired. Like the least you can do is put a little simplicity in their inbox.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, websites to redirect them, photos. I use photos as a hyperlink a lot. But you do have
Yes.
to say that it's hyperlink. I've had people like there was no link. I'm like, click on the photo. Right. So I do tend to do like a little arrow and a click here or something, just to make it a little bit more obvious. And then you'll be glad to know I did know these hotkeys. Good. But I tell you, Control Command K to open a hyperlink is a very useful one. Also, I met a teacher the other day who, and I don't want to sound like I don't want to come across as sounding like I was feeling superior, but she didn't know she could right click and open in a new tab, right? And she was getting really frustrated because she kept losing her original stuff
Oh
every
yeah,
time
what
she
window
clicked
she
on
was
the
in.
link. because she didn't know how to open it in a new tab. So sometimes just helping people with something that seems so simple when you've done it every day, but when it's new, it's not easy, right? And the Control C, the Control V, really, really good ones to know. Just knowing those keys makes life a lot easier. And easy is what makes people read your stuff. All right, now Lauren, this is where you're good at the visual stuff.
Yeah, I love that. Because I love getting emails like that. I feel like it's so funny and just, work's already hard enough. It's nice to have like a little light treat in my inbox. So, I'm all about putting the gifts in there. I'm all about putting the gifts in my tweets. If
Mm-hmm.
Instagram had gifts, I would put them in my feed. Sometimes I put in my story, but I love gifts, and I also love RuPaul's Drag Race. So that's
Well,
why that's
I mean, what's not to love? What's not to
that's
love?
why Jada's there.
All right, and of course, we need to chunk our information and make it cute. God bless Canva. Like, where was Canva all our lives? This thing is a miracle, right? I mean, it just has templates, it makes things easy. But even this one right here, the let's read a book, and this was what I sent my media specialist about checking out books. And I actually was laughing because I need to change some things on it. I love when you create presentations and add into things and you're like, oh, I need to fix this. There is a lot of writing on here, probably more writing than I would like, but there was a lot of information. And this used to be like a 4-page handout. So
Oh
taking
wow.
that and making it a 1-pager just is life changing. It looks attractive. It follows along. When I got my morning activities for the MLC, I don't need to explain what yoga is. I can put a picture. We've got our mellow Monday. Like I'm just writing it there, and we've got the kids lying around, right? Like it just makes it easy to see, and you can glance, and it's attractive. Ways to win at the book fair. I mean, God bless them, but my teachers were not reading my emails. So I had to find another way of doing it when all of a sudden I had a poster, a picture, and inserted in my email all the same. And all of a sudden people were seeing the information. It just makes a difference when it looks attractive.
It's that visual literacy that has such an impact, more so than just the
And I and I
workbook.
some sorry, I was going to say I sometimes feel like we're setting an example because I see other people then following along. I'm sure you've seen that too, Lauren.
Hmm.
Uh,
Absolutely. But the visual literacy too makes me think about like graphic novels and why they're so appealing. Just to see them the same way that you could do this long handout, or you can make it an infographic. What's going to have the bigger bang for your buck? And as school librarians, we're leaders in our building who can, hopefully influence our teachers by what we're doing and help them with their own content.
For sure. For sure. So are Bitmoji still cool?
I say yes.
I think there was a stage we got carried away with them, but I think now they're cool again. Right? There was a little period.
So I actually did this bulletin board, I think it was last school year, at the beginning of the school year. And so this is a really great collaboration because all the teachers wanted theirs up there. And when they didn't see theirs up there, well, first of all, they had to come to the library to see it, But I'll rewind. I got this idea from Janeba Muhammad from DeKalb County Schools, who's an amazing librarian, and she had her Bitmojis of the teachers. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for my teachers because one, it's going to open up conversations with new people. They're going to have to come into the media center. It's going to get the kids excited. Like this was just a great dynamic bulletin board. And so thank you for that idea, DJ. So when I had this idea, I sent an email to all the teachers like, hey, send me your Bitmoji. I'm going to do it. And honestly, not that many had responded at first.
Right.
But then when I printed them out and they saw them, they said, "Oh, where is mine? Um, baby, I emailed you. Where is yours? Send it to me." So like, oh, I have to send it. I have to send it. So like everybody wanted theirs up there because they all wanted to be included on this dynamic bulletin board, and the kids loved it. They loved it. So that was a really good good digital collaboration. They
You
didn't
know
have to
what
do anything.
I love about this so much is I think one of my like a lot of people have said to me, how come I collaborate so much with my teachers, right? I feel very blessed that the biggest problem I have is doing the rest of my job because I'm teaching with teachers so often, right? I'm very fortunate. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And the first reason is because they knew me as an ELA teacher. So it was a sort of an easy integration. They already saw me in that role. But I think also I took ideas from people like you and worked really hard to get people into the media center. And I think the more the teachers collaborate, even if it's quote just, because it's a little more than just, but just a Bitmoji collaboration board, all of a sudden they're coming in, they're looking at the board, they're seeing you teaching, they're building that relationship. And you can't just expect people to collaborate with you. It's not like that. It's not like we're in an ELA PLC where they have to collaborate with you. No, this is an element of choice. And we're asking these busy people, yeah, we know we're going to help them. We know we're going to save them time in the long run. But all they know is they have another meeting. And so
Mhm.
I think these are the kind of things, are the ways to get that collaboration started. I think that's brilliant. I love it.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it's really important too when you're building that collaboration with teachers, trying to get them on your side, is that they like you and they trust you. So
100%.
just that, you know, that I'm a friend, that I'm somebody who's cool and chill and I understand you goes a long way. Okay, so this slide. Oh, what's happening
I
now?
am
Oh, more
loving this
emojis.
video. I'm like, oh my gosh, just sidetracked.
More
Here, let's play it again.
emojis. Oh, sure, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I love it.
This
So
is
are these the teacher emojis on the bookmarks? Is that
yes. And I got this idea from my mama mentor, Miss Wendy Coe at Dodgen Middle School in Cobb. So when I went to her school visit, she had these Bitmoji bookmarks. Like, oh my God, I'm taking that.
oh, it's
So I was able
fabulous.
to take the same Bitmojis from the bulletin boards, and some of them they changed them. You know, they want to be kind of bookish, but I asked them, you know, do you have some favorite middle grades books, or do you want to give me a genre and I'll pick the books for you? And they're like, pick for me.
Love that.
I like, you know, and so the kids were collecting these bookmarks like freaking Pokemon. Like, I mean, do people collect Pokemon? That feels right. That's right, right?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay. They were like, I need this teacher, I need this teacher, I need this teacher. And the teachers were so proud of their Bitmoji bookmarks. So,
I love this. What is in the text?
so it just says the teacher's names,
Hmm.
recommends, and then it's the title of the books and the
Okay,
authors.
that's simple. I love that genre idea too, because I've been struggling trying to think of ways to bring teacher readers into the MLC, into our media center. And you know that they're not necessarily reading those books unless they're helping me for approval process, right? So, and those are the books we don't have yet. They're the, right, they're the books that
They're
are on
coming
the
in.
list. Yeah. And so I love that idea of just, maybe tell me your favorite genre, what you like reading books about,
Because they
and then
don't
I can
know
go do
middle
that.
grades books like we do. They don't,
No,
they're talking about old A Wrinkle in Time or something. It's like, okay, first of all, I already weeded that,
right.
but I do like fantasy, so let me let me get on my
Exactly. Exactly. I got something that's kind of like that, kind of
yeah,
modeling of
exactly.
that. I love it. I love it. Oh, don't get too crazy. By the way, I love that
Um,
you use Donna from Doctor Who. And so that just makes my day right there because I am a Whovian through and through, but we're not
'Cause
going to talk about
I
that.
had no
So
clue
don't
who
get
this
too crazy.
was. I had no clue who this was. I just like that she
Yeah.
said
So
no one takes you
she's
seriously.
one of the companions from Doctor Who. So that's who she
I'll have
is.
to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, oh my God. If you're writing something, doing anything with the Comic Sans or like distracting. It's distracting.
I know. And the thing
Personality
is,
without using, a
we
billion
complain
fonts.
about the kids doing it, so let's not do it, right? Let's not do that. All right. going back to really the whole same thing with chunking, right? To collaborate with teachers, you got to let them know what's going on, right? They've got to be sharing in things. And so I love, love your newsletter you shared there. I love the big numbers. I like that so much better than mine, but there we go. You rock.
Oh,
Yeah, but you've got to let them know what's going on in a fun way. Sometimes, like I said, they might not click on the link, right? But you've got to send the link. Sometimes there is space for that printed out version, right? Just sometimes there are things you want to put in the mailbox. You just have to find that balance. But I know that we in our school, they do admin center, send an email out to all staff every month. So every week, we're the dragons, so that's Dragon Tales. And in
mm,
Dragon Tales, they have kind of what matters, what you need to know for the next 2 weeks, right? And so I put a lot of stuff in there that will be a link. But if it's like, you got to know that you got to do this on Monday, it's going to be typed out. But if it's like our newsletter release, that's going to be a link. And then once a month, we have what's called Dragon Bites, where we put everything in more information for the month ahead, which is very good for me because that means I have to plan, because I have to have the month ahead planned in order to add that in there, right? So there's lots of opportunities for that. And then I'm actually going to skip because I'm going to have you come back to the random funnies. One of the things that we do that brings the staff in a lot is we have staff contests. So we do a staff reads too. I used to call it teachers read too because I like the T and the T. And then I'm like, but you know what? Our custodian reads and our speech therapist reads. And so we made it staff reads too. And so they just literally just enter their book, give it a score out of 5. And then we do, got it down here, the little random wheel drawing, right? Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. The little random wheel drawing. And I take a video of it. It's very cheesy. I literally film it with my phone and send it out, but I never tell them who the winner is. They have to open the newsletter and click on the link in order to see who the winner was. So
I love that.
I know that at least 15 people, because there's about 15 who enter every month. I know that at least 15 people will check my newsletter that month. So I do like that.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It's
I love doing that too. If I do a contest, like I'm not cheating. Here's the spinny wheel, and it's kind of like like a game show almost. Like, is it gonna land on me? So,
absolutely, absolutely. So you said random funnies. Love this.
oh yeah. So again, trying to bring that humor and be personable through email to try to reflect my personality as much as I can. So this at the bottom, you see this "Where's West?" This is I don't know if you can see the teacher. He has his little COVID mask on the right of the screen.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wore this red and white striped shirt to school, and we were all talking about how he looks like Where's Waldo, and I was like, I'm about to get on Canva and roast him. And so I dropped him into the Where's Waldo,
Right.
and I sent it to everybody, and it just kind of lightened the mood, because they were all like all like laughing their butts off and real funny. I've done stuff like somebody well, this is kind of serious actually. My one of my scanners went missing.
Mm.
So I made like a whole missing flyer, like he was like a missing dog or child, like a missing thing for my scanner. Come to find out, my scanner was in my drawer, but
Oh,
that's
but you had a lot of fun in the meantime, and
yeah. They
that's
thought it
all.
was funny. They thought it was funny. So just nice little funny things like that. Oh, so birthday cards I like to
Yes.
auto schedule too. They can fill out a Google form at the beginning of the school year, get everybody's um birthday, and then sit down and auto schedule those little happy birthdays. And that's just a nice touch too, to let them know you're thinking about them in their email on the day of their birthday.
And I love that kind of idea of doing it like that and auto scheduling, because I was trying to think like now, it's sort of too late for me to send that, but that little weekly thing that I told you about, our Dragon Tales, they always put the birthdays of that month on the bottom.
Mm.
So that's something that I could just jump right on, right? Like I've got that information there. So love that idea. You have so many good ideas. Oh, okay. Talk about auto schedule. Not everyone might know about auto scheduling. I don't know.
They don't because they'll send emails at 2 a.m. and I see it when I wake up like, okay, that's
What were you
weird.
thinking?
Yeah, I'm not for that. But I do write, sometimes emails at 2 a.m. But you never know because I auto schedule them. And so the beauty of auto scheduling, of course, is that you can choose when you want the email to go out. And I have so many things that I'm thinking about doing, or, you know, I'm not going to remember on Monday to send this email out, or I'm not going to remember on Wednesday to send out the anime club lunch meeting. But I can schedule that bad boy while I'm thinking about it and set it for Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And it takes a load off my brain because it's gonna do what it does without me having to worry about it. I've done the hard work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I
I
love
mean,
that
it's
because it
it's
just
things like, say we have they only have kind of a homeroom with their kids once a week on a Monday. And so you got to get the message to the teacher before the Monday. And Monday morning doesn't work because sometimes they've already got the kids in before they read their emails, you
mhm.
know? And so it's like you got to find that sweet spot. Like it has to go out at like Friday at 3 o'clock, right? If it goes any earlier, it's too soon. If it goes later, it's too late. And you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna send it when it needs to be sent. And that's always
Mhm.
love that. Love
Instead of
that.
having to set a reminder like Friday at 3 o'clock, I need to send this. It's just
But let me tell
freeing
you,
up that
why
space
why
for
am
your
I
brain.
sending a reminder for myself? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All
She's
right,
so
Google
sweet.
Forms. I love Google Forms. So for the win.
I love Google Forms. I use Google Forms for a lot of stuff. For not just scheduling the media center, but I also use it for like our morning announcements. We have a broadcast news show, and so they need to submit announcements. If teachers need to submit announcements, they do it through the Google form. I like too that you can set it to send you an email notification each time somebody completes the form, um, so that you don't have to keep checking it, but like it'll kind of notify you.
I loved it at the beginning of this year because this was my second year. And so last year I had done a lot of different lessons with teachers and we had talked about things and not done them. And so I like created a Google form for each content area. Basically, would you like to do this lesson again? How about that? Like right at the beginning of the year when they were planning and full of all great ideas, so they were willing to say yes, whereas later on, everyone's so busy, right? And it was just a great way to permanently have that on file, you know and then I use it with my kids too. I have different topic, last month's topic. I have my kids run a lot of the stuff in the MLC, and we have a permanent Google form for their ideas for and we just keep iterating it, and it just keeps going. And like you said, you got the email sent to you, the kid can have an idea at 10 o'clock at home and send it to me, and I've got the idea. And I love that. Book reviews too. Like there's so many ways to use them.
I also use it for my sign in to the media center.
Yeah, us
So I
too.
know there's a program where you have to pay, of course, but it's the same information. I just made it a Google.
Yeah, we have a Google form too. I mean, they're just it's so easy, right? It is just so easy. So you've got here's some examples. So collaboration lessons. Talk about that.
Oh, so the collaboration lesson. So when this Google form is basically saying, hey, I want to bring my kids to the library. And so do you just want to use the media center? Like you just need the space? Or do you want to hook up and let's do something really cool together? And so when they put that in the Google form, they'll ask them for like their standard that they're working on, any comments they want to have, of course, what's their requested date. And then I will take that date, approve it or not approve it, and I will then send them a planning doc so
Mm,
that we can plan our lesson together.
I
And
love
that's
that.
basically like action items for them, action items for me, their standards, my standards. And these are all hyperlinked too, and we'll share out the link. I guess they'll be in the comments.
Fabulous. Do you want me to open them to look at them
Sure, we
or
can look at it for sure.
yeah, let's have a look at the template. Oh, make a copy. That's why I hadn't
Hmm.
looked at it.
So
Also, another great thing to know about how to make force a copy, right?
force
Force a copy.
copy.
Because
Oh,
I will tell you my first, that wasn't my first, but I don't know, about 3 years ago as an ELA teacher, we had a new person join our team who, to put it kindly, was not super Google literate. And I literally started teaching a lesson. And I always use slides a lot as my kind of like, I don't read from them or anything, but they're like my base. Like I might just have a
yeah.
picture that tells me where I'm going, keeps, because I just start talking. So I need something to control me.
Keeps you
And
grounded.
yeah, and literally my slide changed in front of me. Like I click over and it's like her name on it. And I'm like, so yeah, she didn't know how to make a copy. So always force a copy.
Give her
Always.
the edit link. Oh man, the
All
worst.
right. So tell us about your template. Love
Yeah, so
this.
this is the planning template for all my lessons. And so again, it's like me and what teacher, what's your standard, what's my standards, what materials are we gonna need, what resources, what's the opening activity, work ready assessment method. And I want to be very clear. I'm not babysitting your kids.
Right.
So it's during the lesson, I'm going to do this, and you're going to be doing this, just so it's clear about our roles during this collaborative lesson. Also
Because I
have
would
action. Hmm?
absolutely. I always find like there's kind of two ways to collaborate as a media specialist. And you may agree, disagree, or think of several more ways. But one is that kind of true collaboration where we sit down and work what we can do together. And then there's that other one where I go to them with an idea or a concept and plan it out, right? Like, this is what I'm thinking. Would you like me to flesh it out? Shall we do this? It's kind of those two ways of doing things.
Hmm.
And they're both equally valuable. But I think your point of always having that, because some lessons, I'm okay with them doing their grading in the back of the room, right? There are some lessons where it's okay. I just need you present in case I need you for behavior. But there's other lessons where, like today, we're doing the 11th hour and they're doing mystery genre and they're finding clues. And yeah, no, I got to have the teacher active. In fact, I
Yeah.
probably need about 4 more teachers while we're at So I love that. That's a really strong point to
But
me.
yeah, to just be clear, and the last thing on there was the action items. Just
Right.
that before the lesson, I'm going to, pull these resources. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And you're going to do this, this, and this. You're going to get the marshmallows. You're going to get the, whatever it is, just so that
Absolutely.
it's clear who's doing what and there's
I mean,
no
like the
question mark.
teacher who came in to me yesterday and she said, "Are we still good for the 30th?" And I'm like,
What's on the 30th?
what's all that about then? And she's like, well, we talked and you're going to do the landforms thing like we did last year. And I said, well, we did talk and I did give you a couple of dates that would work, but nothing on my calendar. So, we had to have a little chat about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
all worked out. All worked out.
So I will send the Google Planning Docs template in the calendar invite
Of that.
to
Well,
approve the date,
and Lauren, I always send the calendar invite. So I know if there's no date on the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't take it one notch up.
Yeah.
It was a chat. It was a chat, but
But it
it'll
wasn't it wasn't in the Google calendar.
not. It was not in the calendar. So okay, so they fill out the do the any comments. Love
Oh,
that.
so here, yeah. So this is talking about Google Docs as well, and how I was actually able to plan like a whole event with the teachers straight
Mhm.
from Google Docs. We just asynchronously planned this literacy night event because we put in our ideas, we had it very clear who was going to do what, and kind of built on our comments. But yeah, oh, we already talked about so we already showed the template, but the
Right.
comments are important because you can put, you can add somebody like, hey, I have a question about this, and it'll go to their inbox to email them like, hey, she asked a question in the Google Doc, you know, um, and the importance of those action items again. So
There's so
comments
much
are
brilliance in Google that we don't all know about, right? It's kind of like the hotkeys. There's all these things that are there waiting for us, but if no one tells us about us,
hmm.
oh, so is this your event?
Yeah, this is the event. This is the literacy night that me and one of my colleagues planned together. And you can see we're going back and forth, and I'm like, the food truck canceled.
Like freak out.
Options for replacement. So, she has a class, I'm busy too, but we can go back and forth um to kind of keep this living document as things change and update and stay in sync with making things happen for the event.
So what was this event? Because I'm just like,
So this was our
I
literacy
know we
night.
haven't got that much longer, but what's this event? What's this about?
Oh, we are almost. Oh my gosh. Um, so this was our literacy night. And basically, it was to promote literacy at the school. Had it during the book fair. We had food trucks come, and each department set up a table with different activities to promote literacy, so cross curricular in our school. So it was really fun. It was from 5 to 7 on a weeknight. Everybody, came, and we had music and food and all these really cool fun activities to get parents out and to see how literacy is not just for ELA, but it's in every class.
And you did that during book fair. I might have to talk to you on another. I might have to talk to you about that. All right. Like, okay. So I'm going to go real quick on here because this is something I'm still working on. And, we've talked enough and I want to hear your wonderful digital ideas, which is much because it's about you, not about me. Just one thing that I think I sort of lost touch with post-COVID, although we're not really post-COVID, but you know what I mean, was I did such wonderful digital stations when my kids were doing online learning. Kind of forgot about it once I was back in the classroom. Then was as a media specialist and went to see Cicely Lewis at GATC doing her Beyonce thing.
Oh,
And I was like, what am I thinking? Like, I am locking my schedule up and I can't, sometimes I feel like I have two jobs, right? And I can't do one job because I'm doing the other job. I'm teaching, so I can't be doing book stuff, or I'm doing book stuff, so I can't, like, it shouldn't be like that. Well, I can be creating digital lessons for people and digital stations. So the kids are still being active. They're still getting the benefit of what they would get in the media center. They're getting my support, my background, like the time. I'm giving them back that gift of time, like they always say. But I'm also giving myself the time because I created the lesson that took me the same amount of time, but I still have my day in the media center. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know how to do this. Why am I not doing it? So I just wanted to mention it with digital collaboration because I think teachers would like that too, because they don't have to worry about uplifting their class, although sometimes that's why they want to come to us. But there are some days they don't, or they couldn't get that date in the media center. Someone else was in there. They want that particular date because that's where it falls for that unit. I had a social studies teacher. She wants me to do an intro to research. I do all the research for science and ELA. And I was like, I would love to do that, but we couldn't find a date that worked for her unit. And I was like, oh, I'll do digital stations. And so she's super pumped about it and she can use it year after year. So
mm.
yeah, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
And so these are your digital stations are asynchronous lessons that you kind of build out for the
Well,
classes.
well, what my plan is right now is no, they'll be kind of synchronous. So they'll be group type things, right? So they'll be working together using Galileo, finding things. Maybe they're going to watch a video, like I'm, finding a video they have to watch and then they have to answer some questions. I mean, very similar to what we used to do in online learning, but in kind of chunks, right? So
Mm,
just sitting doing a lesson on the computer, they go to this one station, and then I'm probably going to have a couple of stations that are not digital, right? So get off the computer for a station, maybe have a text that they have to find something, cite something like that, and then go back to digital. So we're still
mm.
getting that movement, but we can use the computer.
Got it.
It's a great idea. Just haven't put it all together yet.
Well, hey, definitely share that
Perfect.
because it sounds really cool.
Okay, I will. Yeah, we're both middle school. So yeah.
Mm.
All
Oh,
right, your digital tools, my friend.
oh yeah, we've got like 1 minute. Is
That's
it a
all right.
hard deadline? Okay,
No, it's
so
not. It's not. I say 45 minutes to an hour.
oh, okay. Well, then I don't have to talk super fast. But I'll try to wrap it up. So these are some of my favorite digital tools. So I love Wakelet. I really like Wakelet. Are you a Wakelet on the
I am
Wakelet list?
not. To my shame, I keep going to things and people tell me to use it, and it's like one more thing, and I don't do it. So tell me why
Mm.
I need to do it.
I love Wakelet just because you can put everything. It's basically like it's kind of like Padlet, but it's more so for. I feel like with Padlet, it's like a community putting their ideas in there, and with
Mhm.
Wakelet, it's like a curation of your resources to share out. But it can be community based. I've kind of had some problem with the links trying to do that, but I like Wakelet. So a lot of times, sometimes with lessons, I'll do like, all right, step one, step two, step three, and they can just go to the Wakelet and hit all the links or whatever they're going to need for their activity for their lesson. They've got a lot of templates on Wakelet, which are great too, and that's hyperlinked. So, oh, this is a flip hunt that I did, and Martha Bongiorno gave me this idea for a professional development where where the teachers came in and basically a scavenger hunt using Flipgrid, but I gave them the Wakelet after so that they could implement it in their own classes.
Nice.
So they did the activity with me, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do this too. I want to do it with my kids." And I'm like, "Okay, here's how you do it. Go to this Wakelet, and it's going to walk you through what to do it. Instead of writing an email, instead of having a doc, it's all these hyperlinks to give them the interactive experience of how to build their own flip hunt. But you can do it with anything, and I do it with a lot of lessons.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I have to get playing now. I have you. Yes, I have used this. So
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
Peer Deck
head.
is also great for digital collaboration because it's basically just up in your slides
Mm,
where it's interactive and the students can engage with 6 different types of questions: short answer response, multiple choice, number feature. They can draw on the slide and the teacher can see it as it's happening. And they actually have a co-pilot feature so you and another teacher can see it at the same time.
that's very cool. Oh wow, we already talked about how brilliant Canva is, right? Oh my Lord. Yeah, it's crazy how much.
If
I
you
did my
don't
first
have a
video the
free,
other day for my homework for my degree, right? I did my first video using Canva. I'm like,
oh
why did
yeah,
I not know this existed? Like I just literally
mhm,
didn't know it existed. Amazing.
record in there. But if you don't have a free teacher account, do yourself a favor and sign up for the education account on Canva.
So much better than anything else you're going to have. Look at that. You like got those in there.
Sure.
I love that. Well, listen, I really am super grateful. I will also say I don't normally sound like this congested and stuff, but we're moving on.
I didn't notice.
We're moving on. Um, I really appreciate you. Do listen out for Lauren's amazing podcast.
Yeah.
You're on, is it like the ninth or this? How many episodes have you done?
Oh, I put out 7 episodes. The eighth
Seven.
one was out
Okay.
on
I knew it was
Monday.
an odd number and I'm too short.
Mhm.
So I've had five. I'm behind a little bit, but
Oh,
they are
okay.
a lot of
You got
fun because
time.
Lauren just chats with people and then
Awesome
you have new people to
librarians.
follow and it's very, very, very cool. And I see you have a link here on your mailing list, so that'll be available on the slides. Is there anything else you want to tell the people about how they can
Oh,
catch your stuff?
yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, a little bit on TikTok, at Mobley in the Mix and mobleyinthemix.com. But yeah, of course, it's pre-stream Library Unlock. We're trying to add new voices to the podcast world and the podcast school library world. The super niche.
I
It's
love it,
very,
love
very
it.
small.
And as far as GLMA, we will be having a February webinar. Just watch this space and we'll let you know. But again, thank you, Lauren. I really,
Thank
really
you, Bridget.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Now I just have to figure out how to turn off the recording and we'll be good to go.
Can do it for you.
I hopefully I can